We're live. Y'all are live. I love you.
Bye.
Later.
I love you too. I love you a long time.
You love me a long time or known me a long time?
Okay, so I got to share. Yeah. So, Crystal, I thought that picture on the wall was somebody from the Beatles. That's Jagger.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
That's funny. I could see why you would like that. Right? John
Thank
Lennon.
you.
Is that
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Hashtag.
Let's see. What the thing is, never mind. We're live on video.
Traditions. TRADITI. Traditions. Epic Adventures. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Denise, Laura, Bill and Karen, Abby, Denise, Stephanie.
I'm so sick and tired of seeing about kids shooting each other. Oh, it's so sad.
Very much so. Oh, what a night.
I'm probably going to need this.
Oh, what a night. Yeah, you might need that. It's been known to help us in the past.
Just a little bit. Hey, 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 hey.
It's Velma.
We are live. It's Thursday night, Just for Fun Radio. So you are listening to Ladies Talk with DJ Smiles and the Doc, looking like a Velma.
I got Scooby-Doo here somewhere.
And the gang. We're the gang.
And the gang, yeah.
If you're not tuned into YouTube, maybe you should, because go to your YouTube channel, search Just for Fun Radio, because you're definitely going to watch the show tonight. Want to watch this show tonight.
Yes, you are.
Did I get that out right? Now that I have the microphone, because anyway, I almost went live without the microphone. Not sure how well that would have went.
We could have made it work, because we always do.
Yeah, we would
And
have.
Shelly's in town.
Shelly. Yeah, you're going to need your
Yeah,
microphone
you're
too.
definitely going to need your microphone.
It's an epidemic. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking, but I've started something apparently. And we got our Ashley's in the house.
Hello.
Yes.
Ashley is done with cheer for the season. So
Yes, it's a party now.
I know, right? We have like her and Zach have the joke going that she's going to take a seat, and hey, looks like she's moving in.
Because we're moving on up. But we already on the east side.
Really?
What?
Okay. She's right. I'm going to go with that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What a day we have had. We are sipping on a little bit of coconut Moscato
From Gravity.
Yep. We were in there today.
Oh my God, today. Well, okay, so Crystal wasn't able to hang out with us yesterday, which made me really sad.
Boo.
Because we got to taste the holiday wine collection with the distributor, and O to the M to the GESH.
That's okay, because I got to go back by there today and have a little sip of what you were talking about. And yeah, what she said.
Yeah.
Shelly got to
Oh
sip
my
some of that
gosh.
too.
Yes.
And then I got a text from my Ashley that was like, "Thanks for the invite to Gravity."
Oh,
'Cause
Ashley,
I
we're
suck
It
as
was
a
a
friend.
joke. It was a joke.
No, I suck as a friend. I really should
Whatever.
have. No, I should have invited you because, real friends, they're like, "Hey, I'm going to Gravity."
Well, it was kind of last minute. I mean, we were drinking margaritas at the Mexican restaurant. And
we were
then
having
we
margaritas
said,
for lunch.
we had margaritas for lunch because, that's how we roll over here.
That was after my big, Anyway,
Yeah,
we'll talk about
After
that
your
later.
big event. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I
my
could have got a toaster oven today. If I played my cards correctly, I could have got the toaster oven.
Yeah, well, anyway. Yep, the wine was really good. They have a new creamy cocktail wine.
I can't wait. And they're
Oh
kind
my
of I can't
gosh.
wait. I can't wait for the wine tasting so that I can buy a bottle.
That's December the 10th, right?
December the 10th,
The 10th.
7:00.
Yep. Yep.
And okay, so for holidays, I love to give my friends ornaments because to me, I like to pick ornaments that are symbolic of things that we did throughout the year. But this time, I've never done a handmade ornament before, and Gravity is going to bring in an ornament lady.
And Ladies Talk, we will be broadcasting live there.
Awesome.
That's December the 10th. And I've never done a handmade ornament either. So, I mean, it's a combination of wonderful.
Yeah, and it's only $20 to do a handmade ornament. And I was looking up some of the ornament making classes, and they're usually like $80, $90.
Oh, wow.
So we're getting
I'm
it for 20.
unfamiliar with that. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Yep. So that's December the 10th. We'll get the times out there. We'll make sure we post that on all of our pages. And so y'all can all tune in and join us. Of course, the more the merrier.
Yes.
So it's wine tasting, Christmas ornaments, and Ladies Talk all at Gravity on December the 10th. So mark your calendars. Ashley, Shelley.
Yep,
Yes,
I'll be there.
Yes.
definitely.
That would be awesome to have y'all join us. And we went by Sports Authority today. And well, I'll tell you a quick story about these balls that all of us are playing with. And if you're watching the YouTube channel, you see us playing with our balls. Or anyway, with balls. They're blue and purple and green. And whenever we were in the attorney's office a month or so ago and we were talking, I walked out with his ball. I really think he kept our balls, but anyway, I walked out with his ball. And I was like, I'll have to give this back to him. But we literally wore it out, Scotty and I, because we played with it so much as we sat on the couch. And it's a stress ball, people, so get your minds out of the gutter. But they sell them at Sports Authority, and they're like $3. We were expecting to go in there and spend, they would be like $10.
Right.
And we have enjoyed them so much. And I don't think you realize how much you just fidget and do things until, I'm very fidgety.
Yeah, always have been.
I'm always messing with something in my hair or something. So now we have balls to play with
Yes.
here in the show. And they feel really great, I'm guessing they're filled with sand. So
And they're so therapeutic because Scotty used to get on to me every morning because when I sit for a long time, I start bouncing in the chair. And on the mic, you can hear all of that bouncing.
Yeah.
And I try to stop. I really do, but sometimes it's just so hard.
But
So-
you can't hear us squeezing our balls, can you?
Exactly.
There you go.
Nope.
No.
You can't hear it. So cool. So we have stress balls. That was actually a pretty interesting adventure just at Sports Authority. Everything we do is fun.
It's fun. It's just for fun.
you could just go walking around the grocery store. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the grocery store, that chick in the bakery today, she
Oh,
was smoking.
wow.
Yeah. She was
Denise
looking
says,
at
yeah,
me.
right, stress balls. Somebody's playing with your ball right now, Denise. They're warming it up for you. Yes, Doc was checking out the chick in the bakery. And see, here you go. I was like, we had asked her to slice some bread for us. And of course, it took her away from her task. And me being in that business, I was like, yeah, I think we pissed her off. And Doc was like, no, I just think that's just the look she has. And I was like, really? And then she comes over there and she slices the bread for us or whatever. And maybe it was because she ended up being fairly nice.
Mhm.
And Doc was like, she's hot. I'm like,
Yeah, because she, when she handed us the bread, it's a look that women who are in the family, in the community, I don't know how to. Okay,
in the lesbian
in
community.
the lesbian community, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
just
It's a
put it
look
out there.
that women who are in the lesbian community give to each other. This kind of like that secret handshake acknowledgement. So she gave me the
But
acknowledgement.
see, you know what? That kind of angers me
Why?
because I was standing there with you. So that would actually mean she was kind of giving my girl a look because she didn't know if we were together or not. We all know what the deal is, but really, I should kind of go back in that store and be like, hey,
You gave my girl a look.
I'm quite sure you were giving my girl the look. I don't know how I'd keep a straight
Wow.
face saying it, but I would probably laugh just like that.
Yeah, you would.
I'm quite sure I would, but yeah. Anyway, yep, Ingalls, and I'm trying to remember where else we went today. Gravity was a great stop.
Gravity,
Before
Sports
home.
Authority. Oh, and all of the equipment that we tried in Sports Authority.
Oh yeah, we were trying out the exercise equipment.
Yeah, and Scotty actually has a Roman chair because I was like, "Daddy, can we buy this? Can we buy this?" And everybody's looking around, like, "Okay." But yeah, so that Roman chair will really help our apps.
Yep, it will. I use it at the gym, but I had no idea that it was called a Roman chair. So now I know.
Yeah, it's
I think it's-
awesome.
You know those like, excuse me, like you get up on, you put your arms here, and you kind of brace yourself up on. You lift
Right.
your legs up, or you can bring your legs up to your chest. I didn't know
Yeah.
that was called a Roman chair,
Me neither.
and I didn't know we had one in our garage. There's a lot of things
I
in this
was
basement in our
fixing to
garage.
There's no telling what's here.
There's probably a body in the garage.
Oh God.
There was a cat in the freezer for a while.
Yes, there was.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. We would joke and say it was up. Whoopsie in the freezer because it was a furry one. After today's adventures, that's kind of funny.
So, Crystal,
Ah.
what did you do today?
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I actually stepped outside of my comfort zone. Everyone who's following us knows my post about, my comfort zone situation. And for years I've said I would like to try it. I want to do it and this and that. And Doc came along and she's been, every time you turn around, she's got an appointment. And I'm like, you're crazy. I'm not doing that. I'm just telling you, you're out of your mind. Well, then there was a studio that opened up here in Conyers. And of course, whenever you got a new studio or anything new that comes to your area, they offer great deals.
Mhm.
So I went and tried the Brazilian wax. Lord have mercy. I don't know what I was thinking. I really still don't know what I was thinking. I'm not going to go too many details right now because I want to share. But oh my
Okay.
gosh, I can't believe I did that. But I let me just say that overall I'm glad I did. I still know that it's going to take a couple of days to like. I want to know how long it lasts. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
But let's just say the days leading up to today, it was awful. It was awful, awful, awful because I don't know. I don't like No Shave November. Let's just put it that way. I think you're supposed to shave every day. And I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't know how people just go through life and don't. And I know there are women are out there who don't shave.
Yes, that's very true.
And there's guys out there who like that.
That's very true too. And some women out there who like that, but
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
oh yeah.
That was awful. I'm just saying. That was the most awfulest feeling ever. I was just like, today I took a shower and everything and I was shaving my legs. And it took everything I had for me not to swipe that razor right across there. 'Cause I was like, oh my gosh, it was awful. It was awful, awful, awful. Here's really some TMI. Last night we crawl into bed, Scotty and I. And I'm extremely particular about like, you don't go near me if I have not showered or shaved, period. It's just a thing. And last night I was like, took Scotty's hands like, feel this. He's like, oh my God. He just could not believe that first of all, I think he just couldn't believe that I let it go that far. Second of all, he really couldn't believe I let him touch it like that. And I was like, yeah, it'll probably be the only time you ever feel that around here because I'm just saying this will never happen again. But like the second or third day into it, I took a shower, got out of the shower, come sit down on the couch, and I'm like venting to him. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hang out for this or hold out for this. I just don't know. I said, he's like, Crystal, go find a girlfriend to talk to.
Yeah. So then she starts texting me.
I did.
And so we were texting, and Crystal and I usually text until pretty late in the night. And Benny has gotten to the point now where she's like, tell Crystal good night. I'm like, good night, Crystal. Benny says I have to
And
go.
I was like, boo, no. We're talking about,
we were talking about important
chia
stuff.
pets and stuff.
So Crystal was sending me all these pictures because she's like, how long does it have to be? I was like, well, at least a quarter of
asking
an
the
inch.
important questions.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, well, and then she starts sending me pictures of different things that look like quarter inches. And she's like, well, should it look like this or should it look like that? And I'm like, just a quarter inch, Crystal.
I was Googling it. And you can imagine the terminology that I was using whenever I was trying to find out. I was like, how long does How long does the pubic hair have to be before you get a Brazilian wax? And the pictures that would come up, oh my gosh, I literally had to pick and choose very carefully what I sent you. And I was like, that's not me, by the way. Oh, it was so funny, but it's been fun leading up to it. But yes, it's been funny, should I say.
Yes, it's
The
been
whole-
fun and funny.
Yeah, it's been fun and funny, but yeah, the experience was very interesting, and we'll talk a little more about that later. But if there's anyone listening who has ever, what's your opinion on the Brazilian wax? And if you want to talk about it, if you want to share your story, please call in at 678-760-1556. That's 678-760-1556. We want to hear your opinion, right, wrong, or indifferent. We're okay with that. So, but yeah, I'll tell you a little bit more about my experience later. But let me tell you, I left out of there a different woman.
Literally.
And I have a new best friend. She's my waxer. What's the professional? She's literally
called
my best friend
esthetician.
because I've never had a friend see that much of me ever. Ever. I was like, I feel like I need to give you my number. So, yeah. Oh gosh. Oh my Lord, have mercy. But anyway, our topic this week is going to be traditions. I've did a little bit of research about crazy traditions, and there are some crazy traditions out there. I'm just going to tell you. I was like, who'd have ever thought that some people do some of the things that I found on Google? And it's got the reasons why they do them, and I guess it makes sense to some people. So
Right.
I'm not to judge, but I'd love to hear your traditions as well. So if anyone's out there who's willing to share a great tradition that other people may enjoy, or crazy ones, or some that you're ready to get rid of, or was glad to get rid of, hey, call us for that too.
Or if you're a blended family and you've created some new traditions.
Great. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's kind of what's going on here in the Just for Fun radio studio. We're still squeezing our balls and drinking wine.
We're squeezing our balls and drinking wine. Okay.
Hey, it's kind of like guys. It's kind of like the guys.
It's kind
do.
of like a guy.
If it was squeezing balls and scratching balls and drinking beer.
Ooh, and speaking of hanging with the guys, last night at Shots Fired in Covington was ladies' night. And oh my gosh, I have not gone. I love guns. I love shooting. And I had not shot since I left law enforcement in 96, 97,
And
somewhere in
I
there.
think you did an outstanding job, by the way.
Thank you. I shot in groups of 3, and all my patterns were grouped. I got a score of 250. So I didn't shoot 3 targets, so I couldn't divide it to see what my qualifying score would have been. But I felt very proud of myself for having gone that long without shooting. And it's really true that shooting is muscle memory. And Alex, who does Tech Talk on Tuesdays, he was there. And so Benny and I were in one lane together, and Alex and Denise were in the other lane. And so, at one point I said to Benny, I was like, Denise gets to work with Alex. And she's like, well, you've got me. I was like, and Denise gets to work with Alex.
And he's, in
Yeah.
our group, he's the pro.
Alex
Alex
is the pro. I mean, he's absolutely amazing.
Well, I'm glad I didn't make it last night, because I would have been jealous. I would have been like, hold on, Alex has to show me how to shoot.
Yeah, and see, that would have created a whole problem with our spouses, because there's like this territorial thing.
No, not with
in-
Scotty.
in
No,
shooting.
nuh-uh.
Really?
No, Scotty would have been like, hey, man, would you show her how to do this? Because, I mean, honestly, Scotty has even said, and I think you were sitting there today whenever he was mentioning that he enjoys shooting, but he hasn't shot in a very long time, and he has his own theory. He doesn't need to be a very accurate shot, because
Right.
if he has to shoot anybody, they're going to be this close to him.
Right, that's true.
That's his
True.
theory. So he doesn't go out and target shoot a lot,
Right.
and he's not a teacher, so to
Right.
speak. So he's all for like, hey, you know what, if you can teach her the proper technique for safety reasons and what she needs to know, because Scotty, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from him, but he's just one of those guys. He'll just take his gun out and shoot you. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know that he's ever practiced a whole lot of proper techniques, so to speak. And he would want that for me. He'd want me to be shown the right way to do it. So,
Well, I've seen Scotty unholster before and you know, and chase something down.
and
And
that's straight street.
yeah,
Just telling
straight
you.
street. I'm like, you know, that's why whenever I go anywhere, I'm like, I want to have Scotty with me
Oh
because,
yeah.
you know, last night it was really funny. And, you know, and this goes to situational awareness because before I hung out with Scotty, I would just walk in places because that's just who I was. You know, I never thought to look at my surroundings because I'm in Conyers and Covington. What's going to happen to me? I mean,
Well, the era we're living in.
oh,
you know,
anything. Yeah, I've
yeah.
learned that anything can happen. And so we went to a restaurant in Covington last night. So we get out and, you know, we're looking around and, you know, it's like we didn't see anybody that looked like us. I hadn't heard Scotty talk about this place. I didn't know if Crystal knew this place or not. So, you know, Benny and I are looking at each other like, is it safe? And she's like, honey, I don't even see any black people in the kitchen. So,
No, that's funny. Oh my
And I
gosh.
was
Hold on. Let me check the kitchen.
so I mean, we're literally standing there looking through this plate glass window like we're casing the place. And I'm like, okay, well, either we need to decide to go in or go home because they're going to call the police on us. I was like, and then we're going to go to jail and then we're going to become a hashtag. So she's like, okay. So we went in. I mean, everybody was super nice and we really enjoyed the food and it was awesome service. It was Bradley's Barbecue on the square in Covington. And
I've met him, the owner, and he's actually a really, really great guy.
he
shops Kroger all the time, and he's an awesome guy.
He
Yeah.
was. Everybody there was really nice. And so Benny and I were talking about it. And she's like, you know, it took us 10 minutes standing out here to decide if this was safe or not. She's like, it shouldn't be this way.
No, it shouldn't. But you know what? Unfortunately, it is. And that's why we should protect ourselves and learn how to protect
Exactly.
ourselves, so to speak. So I'm going next Wednesday. Things came up. We didn't get to make it. We even went out and bought ammo and everything. So
Oh, we can go together next Wednesday.
we have ammo. We have everything we need to go. But you know what? From what I understand, it was very affordable.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like
it was
$16.
$16 for both Benny and I. And we had to rent guns because, you know, we had some situations in our house with my daughter. And I couldn't have a firearm in the house for a certain number of years following the events. And so, you know, now my daughter's about to turn 18 and I'm ready to get a gun again. But, you know, so we rented guns, bought ammo, bought targets, rented eyes and ears. And all of that came to $16 for both of us.
Wow.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
on Wednesday nights, the lanes are free for ladies. So
Right.
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
So I'll definitely
we will
be going
be going
back.
next Wednesday.
Well, Benny wants a family membership so that we can go shoot anytime instead of just only on
Wow.
Wednesdays.
Well, you'll have to give me more information on that too.
Yeah.
But for now, it's time to pay some bills. So we're going to take a quick break. So everybody tune in. If you are listening and you would like to see what's going on as we're sitting around enjoying this delicious coconut Moscato from Gravity and massaging our stress balls, you can do that by going to YouTube and search Just for Fun Radio, and you can watch us live as well. And while we're on break, make sure you go to your social media pages and let everybody know that Ladies Talk is live and to join us. Listen in. We will be right
Sweet.
back. Let's see if it gets stuck. It didn't. Yay. Okay, you see how we can hear it now? The music and everything?
Yes.
Well, last week somebody said that whenever we went on break, that they could still hear us talking. It makes me wonder, though, if they were not watching YouTube. Because when you go on YouTube, you're not going to hear all of
Right.
this.
You don't hear
You're
the
hearing all of
music.
this. So,
Because if we play music while on YouTube, YouTube will mute not just that segment, but those Einsteins will mute the entire show.
yes. Because, like last week or whatever, there was a song that we couldn't find, but we wanted to play. So I searched it right here and I did this.
Oh.
And they muted the entire show.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm. I was like, are you kidding? But this Moscato is really good.
It is.
I mean,
I'm not a huge coconut person, but
Yeah, me either. But it's nice.
you gonna talk about your laser stuff?
Sure. Why not?
You don't have to. I mean, I didn't want to bring it up if you didn't want to.
No, it's fine.
I'm not gonna hit you that ball like you didn't want it.
As once you get me talking, I'm pretty much an open book. It's just a matter of me getting to that point.
We got some stronger stuff over there.
Yes,
What
we
is
do.
in these?
Sausage. It's not tofu.
I was making sure it was like something.
She's like, I'm just checking to make sure it's real food.
Yeah, because the doc, you might be turkey.
Right.
She did say I was like, I guess I'm gonna get some of these sausage balls. So you want to get the turkey ones? Or I said, girl, I'm getting pork.
I'm like, okay, so I guess those aren't for me.
She was just like, Scotty. She was like, I was walking to the store and I picked up the pork and the pasta and it was $3. And she was like, no, we're not gonna get that. She said, we've got Italian dressing and pasta at home. We can make that for less. I was like, Scotty.
Because I'm like, we're not paying $3 for a 6-ounce container of pasta salad. We have a big bag of spiral pasta in the pantry. I know because I saw it.
And I was like,
Jesus.
okay, well, can I have that then?
So
And
then
she's
I
like,
had to
"Let's look at it."
I had to compromise on the bread.
Yes, she did.
Oh.
See, that's how Benny and I are when we go grocery shopping. Because if I say, honey, get block cheese, she'll go get like the $12 deli block cheese. I'm like, did you not see the $2.49 Kraft block cheese over there?
Mhm.
She's like, but this one tastes better. I'm like, no, it doesn't. I'm like, no, it doesn't.
Oh, this chair squeaks. Oops, I guess I need to be
Have you
still.
Have you heard from Sean? How's it go? Do you know?
No, I haven't.
I mean, I'm just wondering.
Well, when I went upstairs, he still wasn't here.
Where?
Kill it right there on the
Squish
Kill
it.
it. Oh my
Squish it.
gosh, burn the house down.
Dog got it. Dog got it.
Thanks.
I was thinking it's gonna come back alive on the bottom of my shoe.
Start moving again. Ah.
So how special do I feel that both of my children are like, oh, can we have friends over tomorrow? Like, really? Really? Look at the date of tomorrow and tell me what it is.
Oh,
I'm like, no, not tomorrow.
Laura said Laura's listening while she's working on our website, but she said the app keeps crashing. Somebody else had that problem
do
today.
about that, though. A lot of times that's their connection or something.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where
Tell
are
her
these
to try
little
to
pockets?
listen online.
I'm
I'm spinach and feta cheese and potatoes.
This better be good.
Listen, birthday
Zoe,
girl.
Zoe says, I know it's your birthday, but what are we doing? That's what she said. It don't matter what's going on. You're not having a friend over.
And we've got a lot of great people listening and watching. It really it just warms my heart and stuff. It really does. We have such great people.
Oh, I'm itching so bad.
Me too.
Well, I bet so. But I went back to tan today. Oh my god. And I went in the bed you went in yesterday. That one is hot compared to the one I was in.
Really? It's hot.
Must
Oh
be
my
newer bulbs.
God.
Y'all should not be tanning. Y'all need to get you some of that spray tan.
We don't have
It actually helps my fibromyalgia. They've actually done research studies on
Really?
Really?
That's something that I need help with.
it.
Oh, what do you need help with?
So how do you
My
protect
fat
yourself,
looks
like your
prettier when it's
skin, though?
tan.
I just don't go very often.
It does. Fat don't
I
look
figured
good
if I don't go
bite.
very often, it's not
When you
as
get older, you're gonna get all wrinkled, and you're gonna be leathery, and you're not. Your skin is not
My
gonna
face
be.
is actually like,
Your skin is not gonna be all
and it was
smooth.
weird.
I will still love you.
I went like, I used to tan and stuff, but I never, I always thought that I felt better, but I thought it was like more mental because, hey, I got a tan,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And one day I came across an article,
Go
it was
into
a science
YouTube or
research
try
article
going
about
to,
how that they had found that there was a link. In
I told her to go
how
to listen from the website because
Wow,
someone
I
else
guess the
had
vitamin
mentioned
D.
they were having
guess
app
so.
problems
I
this
mean,
morning.
Wow, that's
But
awesome.
yeah,
I used to go as well.
We'll do some shout outs when we get back.
Yes, we
Oh
will.
no, this wasn't supposed to happen.
What'd you
Uh-oh.
do?
This right here was not supposed to happen.
Because we don't have enough time for 2 songs. All right, all right, all right. We are back. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to let another song start, and I hate cutting it off like that, but I was excited to get back to all of our fabulous listeners because
I
I
know.
didn't want to keep them waiting. I heard Laura Wright's listening.
Laura is an incredible website developer, and she's actually redesigning the Just for Fun radio site. So if you're on the site, just scroll down to the bottom, and you can find Laura's contact information.
Yes.
And we'll have our new site up. That's going to be our Christmas. That's going to be our Christmas gift to our listeners
that will
and
be
to our
sweet.
sponsors. Yeah.
And let me tell you, Laura is inspiring in so many ways, and I want to do a product review on her fabulous product
I want that
very,
lipstick.
very soon. She sells unique products, and I won't go in too much into detail because I really want to save that and get her on the show and let her tell us, because I don't know if you've ever checked out any of her videos and stuff like that.
hmm
I mean, this girl, she shows you how to use it and how not to use it, and she's just really very clear and
Right.
clear cut about it. And she's so inspiring in so many ways. I could do almost a whole show just on Laura.
On Laura. Yeah.
So maybe we could get her in here one night as a guest. I mean, she has been on a weight loss journey for about 1.5 years, maybe a little bit more. And she did it the right way. And she did it despite health issues and struggles that she's had, like you wouldn't believe, because most people would say there's no way you're going to be able to lose that weight with the conditions that you have, but she has done it. I mean, she showed, well, were you with us Halloween?
No.
I know Ashley was. Laura was there. She was the steampunk. It's such a cool costume.
She looked fabulous.
Yes, and she's just an amazing person. So, yeah, I could go on and on about Laura, of course, and I'm very, very glad she's listening. Hopefully, she seemed to be having a little bit of trouble with her app, so hopefully she can get tuned in very clear. And we've got Lee Davis. Leah, I hope I'm saying her name right. I'm horrible about that. But she's so supportive, and she's listening as well as some of our regulars. I know Dawn Stapp is listening. Me and Dawn go way, way back. We went to school and everything together. And then there's our fusion days. So if you're listening, let us know. We'll give you a shout out. And if y'all have anybody who's texting you listening, make sure y'all say hi as well. So
That's right. So that we can shout you out.
yep, because you know what? If it were not for y'all, we'd all be sitting around talking to ourselves. Not sure how much fun that would be. But I also know Denise is listening. Denise.
All right. Didn't
That's
you-
stuck with her, at Denise.
and I hate that name. I'm like,
Why? I think
ah.
it's funny. It's just for fun radio.
I know, but
Well, Doc, what do you want us to call her?
I just wanted y'all to call her real name, like Denise, because okay, here's
We got to have a name. Like Ashley, now you got to have a name.
I know.
well, she
Uh-uh.
said we could call her Niecy,
Niecy?
yeah, because that was her nickname growing up. But here's my thing, because she has kids, and I don't want her kids to hear us calling her, because it doesn't.
Well, I don't mean
sound
duh
right.
as in like duh. I mean duh like D, duh.
Well, I know,
Denise.
But
Let's
we
do
know
it.
that. But when we're calling her that, and her kids hear it, they don't know that.
Okay.
And we're trying to teach kids not to call names and not to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I sigh out loud? Sorry.
Yes, Scotty, it must be the chair and the headphones over there.
It must be. I don't even know. I thought that was Shelly that did that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Well. How come nobody's called in about the Brazilian wax?
Well, I posted on my page, I said, have you ever had a Brazilian wax experience? And my friend Jessica was like, I did it 3 years ago. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again sober. And
No, I did joke with the lady who what is the professional name for the waxer?
esthetician.
There you go. Anyway, I was like, how long have you been doing this? And she said for 7 years. And she was young. So I mean, she started snatching like
She started snatching.
hair out like at a very, very, very young age, apparently. But anyway, she was saying that she has done it for like 7 years. And I was like, well, she's like going to have to be my new best friend because
Well, that
she sees everything.
the person who does your Brazilian wax is kind of like your hairdresser. You don't cheat on them. You don't go to other people because, they're up in some of your most intimate areas.
You think? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you, my most intimate moments, I'm telling you, I mean, you don't get any closer than that. You don't get any
Yes.
closer than that. I'm just saying, I mean, you are completely 100% exposed. Like, when I first went back there, I was like, this is my first time. I'm really, really nervous. And she's like, don't worry, I'll walk you through it. We've got this, no problem. She said, I do this all the time. She's like, I do it to pregnant women. I do it to, I was like, pregnant women come in here and get this done. She said, oh yes,
Yeah.
honey.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they can't see.
Yeah, you can.
Take care of it on
Right.
their own. So.
I don't know. I just feel like that pain that you're subjecting yourself to may not be good while you're pregnant. But and it is, everybody says, the number one question, does it hurt? Of course it does hurt. It does hurt. Anybody, doc, you can say it don't hurt, but it hurts. Maybe you've just gotten used to it.
Well,
And
I've been
maybe
doing
I
it- yeah.
will.
Maybe
You've been
I've
doing
been
it for
doing
a
it.
decade.
I've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah. So maybe I'll get used to it. And when I say that, yes, that means I will go back. But I'm just but I will use that particular girl. I'm not gonna
Well, of
let
course.
anyone else. That right there was enough for me. I mean, it's like she's seen it all now. She has seen it all. Okay, and
So that's your new tradition then. So you added a new
Yes.
tradition today.
so I'm glad you said that. Yes. So there we go. And you get to go with me every time.
That's right, because we do a lot of stuff together.
Because now that's our tradition. And Deanna is watching tonight. My cousin Deanna, we love you, Dee. And you can see Shell, and we wave at you.
Hey,
says she's watching.
Deanna.
She's in good old Byron, Georgia. Want to
Oh,
ride
she's
in.
down there at my sister.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, my
yep. Oh,
sister's
really?
a deputy down there.
Oh, we'll have to take a road trip one day and go see family.
Yeah, my sister lives down there in
We
Byron.
can make that a tradition. But speaking of traditions, I did a little bit of research.
Crystal broke out the
That's a piece of
Encyclopedia
paper.
Britannica.
You're rubbing off on me as we're sitting here both rolling our balls.
I know, look like we're rolling bread.
But what I discovered are a breakdown of traditions is you got your daily traditions, you got weekly
Mhm.
traditions, things you do every week, and you got things you do every month, and then of course you've got your holidays, birthdays, that kind of thing. And when you start looking at it as things that we do every day that you may not really realize is a tradition, and it's not necessarily that you're making it a tradition, but really it is a tradition.
Right.
And as we grow up and we become adults and we move out, you move on from our parents or grandparents or whatever, you look back and you're like, you know what? Every day, whenever I would come into my grandmother's house, my mom's mom, of course, I always knew there was ice cold tea in the refrigerator, and it was just like I want to say it was a routine, but really when I look back on it, it was a tradition.
Mhm.
And there was fruit in the refrigerator, and you go and you get your piece of fruit, you get your ice cold tea, and it was a tradition. That is what we done I shouldn't say every day, but every time we went to our grandmother's. I was trying to remember traditions that I did every day as a kid, and some of them in my home I'm probably not going to speak of today. But and then of course monthly, like some people go to church every week, and you look at that as a routine, but really
It's a tradition.
it's a tradition, for some families.
Well, I remember when I came out and I was asked not to return to our family church. I remember thinking, what am I going to do for Thanksgiving? Because Thanksgiving Eve, they always had a really big pre-Thanksgiving service. And, I was like, and then Christmas, I think it really hit me. Thanksgiving wasn't so bad because, I had my very first Thanksgiving dinner with a whole bunch of other people who couldn't go home. And so, but Christmas, it really hit me because, I didn't get to go out and go Christmas caroling. I didn't get to participate in any of the traditions that I had done for almost 20 years of my life. And, it's like stuff that you don't even think about. When something like that happens, you start to miss it, and then even when I went through getting divorced, it was like we had to start our own traditions. And then I'm going, okay, well, we can't do that anymore because, we're not in that area.
Oh, and my kids were became adults, or too old for Santa Claus. I miss that. I was like, oh, I miss Santa Claus. I miss I'm so excited about Azalea and Christmas this year. I'm just like, yay, I get to do Santa Claus again because I haven't gotten to do that. And Beth's 18. And once they didn't believe in Santa anymore, I didn't do Santa. And once my nanny and my pop passed, and it's not just that, once we became adults even, I miss gathering as an entire family for Christmas, which we all still, even me and Shelly and my brother and, at my immediate family, we all still try to gather at some point for the holidays. It may not be Christmas Day or Thanksgiving because my brother's, and I respect him for this, but on Christmas morning, he wants Christmas with him and his girls and his wife at their home. And he doesn't want to have to spend all day running from family because face it, I've got my mom, Scotty's got his mom, and whenever you have divided families, it's even more of a challenge because the kids got their parents' side of the family. So anyway, my brother just laid the law down and he said, look, if y'all want to see us for Christmas Day,
y'all come to us.
Don't come see us, but don't you dare come before, noon or whatever, because that was what he has done with his girls since they were little as a tradition. He was like, you know what? We're going to wake up. We're going to let our kids enjoy Christmas. I'm not running them all over the state to see all of y'all. So,
and that's what made it really easy with my divorce, was because his family always did Christmas on Christmas Eve night.
Yeah.
So it was like, no matter what, I always have my girls on Christmas.
Yeah.
He'll come over and he'll see what they got and, see them on Christmas. But other than that, I mean, we have our separate times and his family just happens to do it on Christmas Eve. So that's always worked out good for us.
And see, I think it's great whenever people work together like that,
Yes.
Yep.
And Laura just sent a message and she said that the Brazilian, going back to the Brazilian topic,
oh boy,
she said that was why Bob is always her personal Brazilian person because it's way too personal.
Bob waxes her? Oh my God, we need to send Scotty to school because I couldn't know. Never mind.
How we
X that.
I'm like,
Forget it. He is not waxing me. He would get way too much enjoyment out of that. Instead of a really quick rip, he would be like, honey. No, he wouldn't even be sweet about it. He'd be laughing his tail off and he would, no. Scotty's not waxing me. I'm glad for you, Laura. That's pretty awesome. Bob is a special man.
Bob is awesome.
So how long does that last? How often do you have to go?
Well, when you first start, you go every 4 weeks because you want to stifle the hair growth down there. And like now, I've been doing it for 15 years, so I can go up to 12 weeks without getting waxed.
And she was telling me that it comes back softer and softer each time.
Yeah,
and I'm just, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to sound graphic, but and it's only been a few hours, but it is like smooth.
Mhm.
Like for me, I have very thick, coarse hair. My hair's thick and coarse. The hair on my legs, I can shave this morning. Like that shaved my legs this morning. Right now, I can feel it. And I've always had that problem. That's why, I feel like I have to shave every day. That's not the case at all. I mean, I'm smooth. Baby's bottom.
Front and back.
The back. Oh, I came out of there. I'm just going to tell you, and I'm sorry to go right back to it, but we'll get back to traditions. Let's just talk a little bit about this because I come walking out of there, and I felt like I felt like I tipped the girl $10, but I felt like I owed her a lot more than that. Because I just don't know how she does it. And like she had finished everything up front. And I'm saying like she gets in every single area there is to get. I mean, she really does. It was pretty detailed. And I respect her for that because you get what you pay for. And then she said, all right. She said, one more thing. And this is, it won't take as long, but I'm going to need you to roll over. I was like, huh? I was not expecting that part of it. I really, really, really was not. And she was like, sweetheart, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt. I was like, no, I mean, I said, you know what? You don't even have to worry about it. I'm good. I'm really okay. I said, just, you don't have to worry about it. I'm not going to do that to you. And she was like, no, you have to get the full experience. You'll be glad you did. Just roll over on your stomach. And I'm like, so I rolled over and I'm thinking, now, how the hell is this supposed to work? Well, I thought like I was going to have to get on my knees or something. But no, no, you don't. She said you don't get on your knees. You lay flat on your stomach and you spread them apart. Like you take your hands and you spread your cheeks. I was like, oh no. I was like, I just can't do this. I was laughing so hard. I mean, I was rolling laughing. And she's like, it's okay. I promise you, just lay still. I was like, this is worse than the gynecologist. I'd rather go to the gynecologist. I said, and I came in and I paid you for this. I mean, I just feel like she has to be my new best friend. She knows way too much about me now. Way too much about me. And I said, there is a Mexican restaurant next door. The next time I'll make an appointment, meet me there first. Because we should have at least shared a drink before we did all of this. Because this is crazy. And she was like, but guess what? You can go for a drink now. And I was like, you're right. And I will. And I will. But next time I'll probably go for a drink before I go in there.
See, that's why I purposely did not tell you about the back. Because I knew if I told you about the back, you would have never gotten to the front.
Oh, you're right. I wouldn't have. And I hope that my story's not detouring anyone. I think that you should. I think that the pros outweighs the cons.
Yeah.
I really, really do. I really, really do. I do in the long run, because I feel like that it's going to be better. Now there was just a lot of funny. I mean, when I first came out there, I was on a roll. It was so funny. We came out and there was a guy sitting out in front of the store and I didn't know he was standing there, and I'm just rolling, telling the girls about my experience, because I took a little entourage with me. And I don't know what I was thinking, because y'all were not coming in there. At first I was like, Doc's going to have to hold my hand through this, because I don't know if I'll be able to make it. But whenever I went in there, she told me to undress waist down. I was like, okay, no problem. So where's the sheet or whatever that I put on? She said, no, you don't need one of those. I'm like, yes, I do. Nothing to cover up or anything. So I'm like, oh, well, that X's out my friend being able to come here and hold my hand while I do this, because, this is a little bit much. And she was like, sweetheart, it's going to be okay. I'm like, she keeps calling me sweetheart. That was a little bit odd too. But she was young and, but yeah, she was nice. But I'm sitting here going, and she said that, I said, wow. I said, I've thought often about different job requirements and things that people do, but this right here kind of steals the cake. I just could not imagine doing what you do, And she's like, well, it's not that bad. I said, I can't imagine the conversations you have when you go home. She's like, well, I try not to judge or have an opinion or think. I was like, well, whatever. I said, I'd be going home and I would be like, honey, you would not believe what I seen today. And she was like, well, you do see some interesting things, that's for sure. And I was like, well, I can't imagine what you can go home and say today, because I was like nervously talking. And I was just like, blah, 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 blah. I was talking about all kinds of stuff. And then I had to be careful about what I talked about, because I didn't want it. I don't know. I just was like, well, I don't want to bring up the wrong subject while she's down there. It was just a nerve-wracking, funny, but rewarding experience. And I will go back. I'm sure. But, we'll see. She said, no, you've got some little babies down there that couldn't get very well. So if you start to feel any in a couple of days, don't panic. Don't feel like, she didn't do her job. She was like, the more you come back, the thinner and the softer it'll get, and the less you'll have to, keep coming back. So, here's the funny part. When she whips it, she rips it off, and she shows it to you.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. After the first one, you're like, hurry up, get it all out. It's whenever you see all that, you're like, oh my gosh. I mean, it is bad. But you see roots and everything.
Gosh.
Yeah, so it is. It's exhilarating. I think you should try it.
No.
Yes.
No.
I think you
It's good.
should.
So was
And-
it quick, or did you have to spend a lot of time in there?
I was probably in there about 20 minutes. It wasn't too bad. It really
No, it
wasn't. And like this was, is it called Adriana's Brazilian wax? Ariana's or Adriana's. It's in Conyers over there
Yeah, I
by
think it's
Publix.
Adriana's.
But this is her 12th location. So there, and it's very, very nice in there. I will say that. Like when I walked in, I immediately felt, okay, it's extremely nice in there. I mean, like you walk in, it's very classy. It's very nice. So I'm like, oh, okay. So this isn't like some hole in the wall. I'm sure there's some bad ones out there, but this particular place was really, really nice.
Yes.
Very clean, very sterile.
And going back to, because everyone is on like a 30-second delay from where we are.
Yeah.
So I guess Shannon, who's one of our listeners in Florida, she just posted, she said, I understand about putting your foot down. Going back to our traditions discussion, she said, I understand about putting your foot down for them traveling to see you. It's difficult for everyone. You want to see everyone and you love them all. Well, most of them. Yet it is expensive. And with this time of year, stress is a huge factor. I didn't think about the stress factor. And let's see. So as a former service member now with a family, I understand. Just like in the military, I just don't have the money. So I make it work the best I can and keep everyone around me as happy as I can. We adults are stressed. Girl, hallelujah.
Yes, yes, yes. Preach.
And I think a lot of our traditions, sometimes we put so much focus on the doggone tradition that we end up being stressed way beyond belief.
Right. Having to have everything perfect.
Yes.
Gotta have this. So this is gonna be set up and ready to go by the time that everybody gets here. And yeah.
And I know Shelly has done, and I have too. I can't just blame. I just can't point you out, but single you out. I have too. Like whenever, like I was gonna do a baby shower. I planned on trying to host a baby shower last weekend here, and so much happened the past month. It didn't work out because I'm like, I can't bring all these people into my house because it's not ready.
Yeah.
And I know that we've came to your house for many years in a row, and we get there, her house is beautiful anyway. But having kids and it can go from immaculate to destroyed in a day's time.
Yes, definitely.
And we and I could tell her whenever we would get there. I mean, she worked very, very hard on everything, and it would always make me appreciate it that much more. But at the same time, I would be like, look, let's not put her through this. Let's find a different alternative. And it wasn't because I didn't enjoy going there, but life alone is stressful enough. If you keep putting that on, it's like then you start to dread that holiday. Because it's like, oh my gosh, I gotta do all that. Or then again, you can use it to motivate you to get your house
Right.
clean.
Right.
Well, and it's not been a negative thing at all. I mean, I don't know why it's not. It is stressful sometimes to try to get everything done yourself. With Sean being overseas so much, that's just the way that it was for a few years. But the house and getting it clean and keeping it clean, that was the most stressful part. Getting the food prepared, I enjoy that. Having everybody together, I really enjoy that. And that's another situation where the pros way outweigh the cons.
Well, I have to give a shout out to Scotty's Aunt Pam because she has a beautiful home. She has a lot of kids. She's got a lot of people that are always at her house because she has all these girls and they all have friends. But that woman, I mean, she's got that attitude. I mean, her house is by far from nasty. It's not nasty, but it's full. It's lived in, and she has the family gather there every single month, and she just keeps it real. And she's just like, I'd rather everybody just come in and eat and be together and not worry about if my house is perfect. And it's far from perfect. I mean, it's not dirty, but she don't worry about if all the socks are on the floor or if all the, she don't care about none of that. She
Right.
really, I mean, I'm sure she does care, but she doesn't let that keep her from
Doing the
bringing
event.
everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm. And so, and I want to say that I hate to keep going back and forth, but we get these messages,
Right.
and Lee Davis, Leah, please tell me if I'm saying your name wrong. Is it Leah?
Leah.
That's Leah.
That's Leah.
Okay.
Like
there you
Princess
go.
Leah.
And that's what I thought too, but I didn't want to say it wrong. Leah. and she's beautiful, but she says that, she does where she works, she actually does waxing, but she won't even do a Brazilian wax.
Wow.
She says she shaves every day. I'm like, wow. She says she does them now and then. She does them now for friends, but the spa that she works at doesn't offer them. But anyway, how about that? Somebody that does waxing won't even go get one done, and I did it.
And you did it.
I
That's,
survived.
Yay for you.
Yay for you!
I am
that
tiger.
excitement.
I just you're not going to drag me into it.
I was getting ready to say,
will.
Ashley, come
Ashley, tomorrow's your
on.
birthday.
Yes,
It's your
it
birthday.
is.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Let me go get you a gift certificate for a Brazilian wax.
I could that would definitely be something you would do, dude. Just because I said I'm not going to do it.
I'll hold your hand, Ashley, from the lobby.
I was fixing to say, not if there isn't a sheet to cover up with.
You have to take her in there with some Stevie Wonder glasses on or something. Oh my word. Yes. I think the lady doing it needs those glasses. I don't know how she does it.
Well, I think it's kind of like being an OBGYN. It's just your job. You don't even think about it.
Right. I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I'm sure. But, I'm sure. I'll stick to what I do because I don't think I could do that.
So, hey, what's our product review tonight?
Product review. Everybody's seen my pictures on Facebook. I don't mean everybody, but some of y'all seen my pictures on Facebook. I wore my hair curly today, and I want to review Rock Your Hair products because I used the. I should have brought it down here. It's the curling cream. Rock Your Hair, but
The girls with curls.
Yes,
Is that the one?
Yes.
Girls with curls.
Yes. And the product smells really good. And I used first the leave-in conditioner, and then I used the cream, and then I finished it up with the oil. My hair is extremely dry, all that good stuff, as I've said before. But I made the joke all day because the doc was like, "I want you to wear your hair curly today." I was like, "Okay, so where are you going to ride?" As we're riding together, my hair gets really, really big, and it does. And I've already resorted to the ponytail, and I don't know what it is. I get so many compliments on my hair. Even my husband, as soon as he's seen me, he's like, "Honey, your hair looks so good," and he never ever does that. By the way,
That should be a clue.
I know, but it feels like so. I don't even know how. I don't know, but
Mine's
anyway.
just heavy when I finally wear it down, and of course I wear mine curly when it's down. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Look at your hair," and I'm like, "No, I can't do this very often." And so
See?
then, of course, I just chopped it all off, so I'm good now.
It looks really good.
yeah.
She got her first Zac do.
I love your
Yeah.
Zac too.
But yes, Rock Your Hair is definitely one of the products I wanted to highlight this week. And they have a lot of great products from what I've been told. I do like those 3 products that I used today. And I had told Shelly when I was leaving because they're hanging out with us since they're here from Kansas. And I was like, "Hey, girl, feel free to try those products." And I hope you did.
Yeah, I did. I put a leave-in conditioner in last night. So this morning it was just basically the oil for the top pieces that get kind of
Yeah.
they stand out on their own. Yeah, but take care of the frizz. It does smell really good. It smells better than the other products that I have found. With the oils from what is that brand? I don't know, L'Oreal or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I like it because the oil doesn't feel very heavy. I've used a BioSilk oil for a while. The BioSilk is called something. But anyway, I've used that for years. And I liked it. But it's just really, really heavy to this it just does not feel that way at all. And it's not so oily that you have to, I don't know, be too careful about how much you put in it.
Right.
And I like the fact that I could add the oil to my hair while it was wet, but then I did take and add a little bit more to it after it had dried, just to kind of tame it down. But I also use a diffuser on my hair. I'll wash it and condition it really good, and I'll get out and put the leave-in conditioner and put the cream in it, and the leave-in and the oil, and then I'll shake it a little bit, kind of toss my head around. And then I'll let it air dry for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'll get the diffuser and I kind of push it, just to take some of that wet out. So you're not walking out looking like you got this horribly wet head. And I've learned that the diffuser works well for it. So, and there was something else that I was going to as far as product review, but maybe it was the Brazilian wax. It seems to be a hot topic tonight. I'm getting messages. It says Jennifer Hopkins. She is a friend of mine here on Facebook, and apparently she's listening. And she says, "You are one brave chick." She said, "I hate getting my eyebrows waxed, much less my hoo-ha."
Yes.
I understand. And this is her first time listening. So thank you so much for taking the time to install the app and listen in.
Yeah.
And I just got tagged in a post by the beautiful Laura Wright. I'm terrified. I'm quite sure she's not going to say, "Hey, Bob will wax you." That's a joke. That's a joke, people. Don't get it twisted. But anyway, we have been talking for quite a minute, so we are going to have to take a break here soon. But everybody, feel free to call in 678-760-1556. We want to hear your traditions. You can tell us about your waxing if you want to. And we have someone in the studio who has done laser, and they're going to share a little bit about the pros and maybe the cons to laser hair removal as well. And we didn't say where they had laser hair removal done. So everybody, let's not overthink this. But anyway, stay tuned to Ladies Talk on Just for Fun Radio.
And Tammy needs the link to watch on YouTube.
Okay. All right, Tammy. I will send it to you in a message, okay? Hang tight, everybody. We will be right back. I talked over that quite a bit. When I say I talked over it. That is too funny.
Do we have gravity in there in that rotation? Because Rob played during the first commercial break.
Well, see, the thing is, I have to add gravity in each time. Because
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me
yeah,
either.
it shows where it played up there, whatever. Oh, the might have played though. Never mind. I don't get the picture.
Oh goodness.
It wasn't me.
What do you want for your birthday?
Yeah, Ashley, what do you want?
What?
You want coffee and a red
What do you want for your birthday?
No, I don't drink coffee.
Oh, I'm so over
Oh
that.
my
It can just go
God.
away now.
I don't know if I can do it.
Medea meme, and she's
Pain
like,
is
"There's one
so
more
wrong."
article about my red
Yes.
cup."
Yes. Goodness gracious.
Okay, we're talking about it's been 4 years that I still haven't gone and gotten my tattoo fixed. Like that.
Well, it's not as painful as a tattoo.
No, it's not. And I've
Really?
never had a tattoo, but I've heard
It's
they're
not as
painful.
painful as a tattoo.
Yeah, I chose
No.
a bad one. For
I've
my
had a
first one.
tattoo, I've got tattoos, and it's not nearly as painful. It's just, she'll tell you, take a deep breath. You'll be like, "Whew," and you'll be talking, all of a sudden. Sometimes
Gosh.
not as bad as that is. That's the one she has to keep going back to. I'm like, gosh, are you done up there yet?
Right, exactly. And that is,
Yeah, that does get.
no, I think I have to like build my confidence up.
We can go together, Ashley. You'll love it.
Aunt Linda's listening. She said, "You're one brave lady."
Oh Lord, let's get ready to get real.
I need to wait until I get me, as my daughter says, your new boyfriend.
Yeah, that'll be more the reason.
Yep.
No, but you need to do it for
And Zoe's gonna
yourself.
kick me out. Every time I leave the house, are you going to see your new boyfriend? I was like, really, Zoe? Really?
Oh.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
I might be.
I was like, no.
Wasn't me.
It's kind of hard to have a new boyfriend when the last one hadn't even left.
I can't believe Aunt Linda's listening. How cool is that?
Oh, we got another one to talk about when we go back to tradition.
Yes, we need to get back on.
Yeah, we do.
We're gonna bore some people to death with our whole Brazilian.
Look, I found a crazy tradition a while ago, and it went right along with.
with Brazilian waxing. I can't get over this. The pubesy cake.
What?
The
Oh
bomb cake.
God.
Cake when we grew grew our first pubic hair.
Oh my
Didn't
God.
think it was too weird at the time. Just wanted a cake.
Candles and everything.
You are going to talk about that.
Oh,
my
my
gosh.
gosh.
Do this whenever we
Is
go
there-
back.
What did they do of like?
No, it's just like, no, it's
Right.
just, yeah.
Whenever we go back, we can go clockwise and all share a tradition.
Okay.
And then we can go do the same thing and share a crazy tradition. Here, let me pull this up to where.
I just put in Google like crazy family traditions, and this like pulled up like a whole bunch of them. It's kind of really weird.
He's trying, honey. He said that he wanted to. Yes, he is. Look, I know my white man, okay? When my white man
Whenever my husband wants something, he goes and he gets it. Like
When-
right now.
when my white man say that he trying to do something, he really trying to do something. Look, you better support my white man. Look, you better get behind him and you better hold him up.
He would go get a keyboard. You see the thing that he's got for his video?
I know.
He wanted that. He went and got that.
Oh my gosh. I had to run from Crystal yesterday.
Pretend you're playing this on the top of rock.
Yeah. Video.
Trying it out.
I went ahead and check to make sure Joey won. I don't care what you're talking about. It's okay.
Well, you don't have to say instead. Don't say the area. Just say you had laser hair. That's why I was like.
Okay. Oh wait, Ashley, there's water in the refrigerator down
So
here.
it's okay, but is it real?
Mhm.
It was Brazilian, like the whole thing, everything.
Thank you. I hung them myself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was really hard hanging the doors.
Front to back.
Right. I thought about it many years ago. I was like, I don't like having my eyebrows done. So
But it's not.
No, it's not.
The hardest part, I think, is just to get over the fact that somebody's that.
yeah.
No, I really don't like my wreath being stuck back there in the dark.
She made that beautiful just for my radio. It really is kind of cool.
Yeah. it is.
Well, don't worry, Ashley. It's in the light in the morning. No, it's not because we usually don't have the curtains pulled out in the morning. Only when we have like real guests in the studio. Not to say that you're not a real guest, but like, you know.
Right. Yeah. I get
Oh my gosh.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm upstairs. So he goes, can you please talk to your daughter about, oh God, what she do? Please tell me she, Brianna. Brianna's got a mouth on her.
Oh, she does, but she's sad.
Yes, she is. Mm-hmm.
Now, which one is Brianna? Is that the 5-year-old?
Tiny one.
Oh,
Little one.
She's, I was gonna say cute one, but they're both cute.
she was
Otherwise-
adorable this morning when I said no candy.
My mommy.
No,
She always
she did earlier. Oh,
Hello.
We're
We're
back.
back. We're back. We're going to try not to bore y'all anymore about the whole Brazilian wax thing. Okay. We're going to move on to the topic. We're going to talk about traditions.
Yes.
Traditions,
And, you know, so this one comes in from one of our listeners who had posted, let's see, her name is Althea by Faith. And she wrote, on the topic of traditions is for my family, the usual was broken when my children became older. They began to complain about leaving home, their toys, and the food I had cooked to go visit other relatives and family. At first, I used to make them come along because of traditions, but I listened to them, and now we go to visit family either before or afterwards. I am a single mom, and our routine is based around work and school. Therefore, when the holidays, I hate having an Android, when the holidays come around, it's something we implement in our regular schedule. Another busy day and no rest. Quality time for the immediate household. I like that. You know, and sometimes it is all about listening to your children when it comes to the traditions because, you know, sometimes we hold on to some traditions that we did as children that maybe don't necessarily fit our children as well.
Yeah, well, and the whole like the Christmas tradition, Christmas Day tradition,
Mhm.
a lot of that came about because when I was a child, we always had, we got up really early, even if we didn't wake our parents up. We got up really early, check out Santa Claus stuff, and then by breakfast, we're at the first house, and then by lunch, we're at the next house. So we were going all day long. By the time that we got back to our toys, we didn't even remember what all we had.
Right.
Yep. And I know that's one of the reasons that's one of the things that made Sean decide not to do it that way. And we have a caller.
Yeah.
Hello, you're live on Ladies Talk. This is Tammy.
This has to be Tammy.
And she is making fun of me. I know it. 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 Did you hear me all the way in West Virginia?
Yes, I most certainly
I
did.
knew it. I knew it. Oh my gosh, Tammy. Tell me that you've done it before and you understand where I'm coming from.
There is no way.
I mean, with that.
Nobody getting down between my legs with hot wax and strips and going, yeah.
I think that's about as close to Red Room as I'm going to get. I'm just telling you. Oh my gosh. Well,
So how are you feeling?
I'm in general, I'm doing great. I'm doing really, really good. Life is
I bet you're
good.
sitting on a pillow though, aren't you?
Well, I probably should be. I probably should be, but she didn't give me those notes to do that, so I'm trying to follow my after ritual notes. But it is definitely becoming I'm gonna make it a tradition every 3 to 4 weeks, and then after that, I don't have to go as often. So, speaking of traditions, Tammy, I bet you have some great traditions that you could share with us.
Not on air.
Well then, we're gonna leave that alone.
I shared one thing, and I'm still in pain. I'm sharing nothing else.
We just love Tammy. She is a loyal listener, and she calls in and makes us all laugh and smile, and we appreciate her for that right there. Even if it was at my expense this time, but it's okay.
Oh, I've been waiting all day to call and scream.
Oh my gosh.
When I seen that post, I was like, oh no, she's not. Surely she's not. We don't even do that up here, and they make fun of us. I mean, seriously.
I was really surprised at the lady who was my waxer, because I can't recall the name of her. She was just, she really enlightened me with how busy they stay and how normal this really is. I mean, obviously.
How do you get past the embarrassment of that? I mean, that's something I've always wondered. I mean, how do you just go in there and just plop them open and say, "Go for it, baby"?
It wasn't easy. For me, it was not easy. I'm gonna have to admit that part was probably the hardest part. I mean, but like I said, she will now be my personal waxer. I will not go to anyone else. Kind of like a gynecologist.
Okay, so at least it was a she.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would not have allowed a guy. No, no.
Oh shoot, no.
No,
Oh,
no. I wouldn't have disrespected my husband that way.
Oh Lord, no. Ain't happening.
No.
My husband would find the biggest tree somewhere and hang me high from a very thick rope.
Right.
And
well, she even asked me how does your husband feel about this? We had that conversation. Of course, we were already midway through it. So, but my husband's pretty amazing. If it's something, within reason, like that, and if I'm brave enough to do it, he's going to be okay with it, but of course.
How long does it take to get that brave?
It took me 40 years. I mean,
well, I'm past, okay. My boat done sailed then. It don't matter.
It took me, I've been contemplating this for probably, 10 or 15 years, and I finally did it. So I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. It's more funny than anything. at this point.
I find it very hard to believe that it's not that bad.
I can tell you it's worth it.
I go in and have my eyebrows done, and I come out of the mall looking like I just came out of a boxing ring.
Oh, me too. Like my whole face
Yes.
will itch and itch. I mean, and the other day I went the day before Halloween, and Ashley seen my face. I mean, the whole side of my face kind of rashed up a little bit because she but they use a different type of wax. It's completely different. It's not like they would use on your face, and she discussed that with me too. And it's actually it's a silicone based wax, which heck, I don't know the difference in all of them, but and I was saying that I was very sensitive to eyebrow wax, and she said this is completely different. So if there's anybody out there wondering about that, there you go. But yeah,
I had wondered about that because the wax that you get on your face is hot, and I'm like, now wait a minute. You're gonna no.
It is hot now. They have a big crock pot back there. I mean, literally, they had a big crock pot. Yeah, I was like, "What are we cooking?" Yeah. But whenever she was all done, she said, "Would you like a drink of water, some coffee, or anything like that?" I said, "Lady, if it ain't got alcohol in it, no, I've got to get out of here."
Pour me 3 shots and we'll talk.
Yeah. So. But anyway, yeah, it was definitely an experience. And if you've ever thought about doing it, or if it's something that you are curious about, I say go do it. I just do. And if you absolutely hate it, then don't do it again. But for me, I will return because I think the benefits.
Well, if you don't return, the grow out's going to be terrible.
I don't know though, because it actually maybe it supposedly comes back thinner and softer and all that kind of stuff too. Apparently, so yeah, that's what that's what they say. So
yeah, it's not as bad when you. I thought the same thing, and then I know I had a different method of removing it.
Yeah,
but it was not as bad as you know how when you shave you get itchy and all of that. Your skin gets really irritated.
Yeah,
and it's not the same. The grow out is not the same. It's not painful.
Well, I can tell you all the roots that came out. I don't know how there's anything left for it to grow from. I'm going like, shit, she took roots and all. I mean, I don't ever have to worry about this because literally I had to look and make sure there was still skin there. I was like, okay.
You may not have to go back.
No. So like with laser hair removal, it still comes back?
It can, yes. It takes a while. You are basically going through and they are using this light to kill the hair follicle. So it takes a lot longer. Whereas you were saying like 20 minutes for yours.
Yeah.
I would go in and I had a lot of areas covered. I mean, I was pretty much done shaving. I didn't want to shave anymore, period. So I'd go in and be there for like an hour and a half. Now, for really sensitive areas like the Brazilian area, they give you a numbing cream to put on like an hour before to make sure that you don't feel as much pain.
You mean to sit in, right? Not to put on, but to sit in.
Oh, wow. Well, I think I got cheated then because I didn't get any numbing cream. I should have gotten some numbing cream. I'm just saying. Yeah,
honey, they'd have to pour me a bucket.
I'm gonna tell you what. People who are
a bottle, and I'll see you in an hour.
The people who are tuning in tonight for the first time, you know what? Welcome to Ladies Talk. The one thing about Ladies Talk is, whenever we started this, we said we were going to talk about things that only ladies typically would talk about amongst themselves. And I feel like we're in the raw tonight. I have definitely been the raw. And we truly appreciate y'all, and just hang tight with us because we are discussing traditions as well. But, you know, I think a lot of times with things such as what we're speaking of, you know, we just don't ever really sit down and really talk about it. And it really took me a lot to I don't know, to make myself be okay with speaking out loud about it, but it's okay. I mean, it's something that I did, and I don't mind sharing and if anybody has any questions, I want to answer them. You can private message me though. You don't have to call in if you don't want to.
Right.
But Tammy, you are amazing. I can't say thank you enough for all your support and of course listening and making us laugh, and you stay tuned
Oh,
in.
you guys are a hoot. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Shoot for, especially when I figured out what tonight. I was like, oh heck yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm going to have to talk Crystal and scream. Well, I told you today, when you hear the screaming and the sobbing uncontrollably, that'll be me. But I'll let you. I'll let you ladies and Zach and whoever's there get back to your traditions. I just wanted to scream. And unfortunately, for some odd reason, I have an itch I need to go scratch.
Oh my gosh. All right, Tammy.
Thank
we
you,
love
Tammy.
you. Bye-bye. She
Bye,
is
y'all.
such a hoot. I really do love her. She's so funny.
Tammy is awesome. She did our first phone prank that we've ever had
Yeah,
on
she
Ladies Talk.
She did. And I think my friends were a little bit disappointed they didn't hear me scream, but you did hear me laughing though.
We
I'm
heard you
sure.
laugh, and that's why we were laughing.
Yeah, I was like, I bet you they're just thinking she's going to be in there screaming. They said that she actually said she doesn't have too many people come in that scream. But did you know this? And we'll move on back to traditions. I promise. I know I keep saying this, but did you know that pre-menstrual that your everything's a lot more like it would hurt you a lot more if you was to go in right before you start
Right.
your period.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was like, oh, okay. But it does make sense, when I really start to think about it. But she said that whenever people come in right before they start their cycle, that it hurts a lot more than it would, otherwise. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I sure am glad she told me that because I won't be coming in.
Look, so now I know when to schedule it.
Well, yeah.
Well, I did just look it up, and there is a numbing cream.
Oh,
they say to
I want
use.
that. Send me that link.
They say put it on 30 minutes before you get waxed.
Oh, I want it.
She's like, I want that. Give it to me.
Yep, and I want anybody else that wants it, let us know so we can send you we'll send you the link to that. But back to traditions. It's almost, it's really funny.
Okay, so you said you wanted to go with, what were we going with first? Family traditions and then weird
Oh
family.
yeah, family traditions. And Shelly was sharing her story and and then we got a caller, but yes, the traveling from family to family to family and how that will just really eat up your day for the holidays and that kind of stuff. And holidays is all about being with family.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But
Yes.
whenever Santa Clauses came,
Well, to make it enjoyable, I mean, we are traveling at least 30 minutes to get to one location and spend maybe 3 hours there, 2 to 3 hours in one spot, and then move on all in one day. It's a lot, especially on younger kids and,
Mhm.
the adults. How enjoyable is it really? It's much better if you split it up over a few days,
Yep.
That way you can fit everybody into your schedule too and get to spend quality time together.
so what we do now is like we'll all try to get together like the week before Christmas. We'll make a day and we'll all try to get together. And then Scotty's mom and family has theirs on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, we just chill. We stay at home.
Mhm.
And this year, Emmy has moved on to her own place and Beth's doing her own thing. And I'm like,
Aw.
we'll have Zaylee. But I have other grandchildren too. So I'm like, since we don't have the girls here, I'm going to have to, I'm not going to expect my children to travel with their kids. So I'm sure I'll get out and try to go see Nevaeh and Lily and Lil Kason.
That'll be fun though.
Yep. I'll be like grandma.
But my parents do that too, though. I mean, they travel around, and they can't really do it as much anymore because my older sister moved, an hour away.
But I'm a grandma.
Yes,
Literally. Well, I've been a grandma, but I'm doing
Right.
grandma things.
right, exactly.
Right.
Which
Yes.
means even more why I need to pay attention to some of these traditions, because like my granny, I remember my granny had 7 children, but there was something like her youngest was my Uncle Timmy and my Uncle James. But anyway, those boys knew as crazy as this seems. And once they were gone, I've heard them speak of how much they've missed this. they would always get these great big candy canes.
No.
It was
Yes.
a tradition. Every
Yeah.
year they got the big long candy canes.
Really?
The boys
Yeah.
did.
Like the sugar candy canes, like the
Uh-huh.
really soft ones. Oh,
Yeah, no, these are the
The-
great big
the
long
hard
hard
ones
ones.
that
Like
they
you
used
have
to
to
put
get
in
them
the-
like at the
yeah.
flea market or farmer's
Oh.
market or something.
Or the old country stores like the Feed and Seed.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And my mom has to. Her thing is, we always get her chocolate covered cherries, because she's for every Christmas, my granny would always give her chocolate covered cherries. And whenever she was pregnant with me, here's a fun or a fact, an unknown fact most don't know, but whenever she was pregnant with me, she ate a lot of chocolate covered cherries. So whenever I was born, I have a little birthmark in the shape of a cherry.
Oh,
And what's funny is when I was born, it was like right here on my stomach, and now it's, as you grow, it's like right here on my inner thigh of my legs. So I got like this perfect little, just like a little mark. It looks like the shape of a cherry.
how cool.
Yep. And my mom says, "Yep, this because I ate all those chocolate covered cherries," and it's kind of a tannish color. So I'm gonna, anyway. So every year I make sure my mom gets a box of chocolate covered cherries, because that was something she enjoyed getting from my grandparents. And my grandmama, her thing whenever we were younger is we all got the Belky bears.
Yes. Oh
you
my
know,
gosh.
with the
yeah.
ears that were on the feet of the bear. And we all got them. I'm sure, I know I still have some, and I know my brother has some. And whenever we was packing up my grandmama's stuff, I noticed there were some. So
We had the Richie ones.
the Richie ones. Yeah.
Mhm, from
Yep.
Rich's.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had both of those.
And
I
Cabbage
remember
Patch dolls, and mine was always redheaded.
Uh,
And I found some Cabbage Patch doll, the birth certificates,
Yeah.
and some of the stuff that you all put together for me. I'm like, they were going through some of my grandmama's stuff for me, or not for me, but together. And I was going through the pictures and everything that was set aside for me. And I was like, oh, look at here. And I was opening it up, and it was the birth certificates from two of my Cabbage Patch dolls. So I was like,
That's
oh,
cool.
So yeah, that was one of those traditions that, I remember growing up as a kid for Christmas. And I think that for me, the memories of tradition seem to surround holidays.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a back to school tradition every year. My dad, who hated shopping, because I grew up in Coweta County, and Coweta was a lot more rural than, if you think Covington is rural, just imagine Covington 30 years ago. And that was the Coweta that I grew up in. So, when it came to shopping, we only had two stores. We had Belk, and we had, what was it, Woolworth. And, but after you reached a certain size, their clothes weren't cool anymore.
Right.
So my dad, every, the 2 weeks before school started, he would always take me to Lenox Square, and we would go shopping. And oh my God, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And I remember one year my mom ended up taking me, and that was the year that they had, when ripped jeans were really popular. And so
And they are again.
and they are again, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I got 5 pairs of ripped jeans, and I had and it was when that baggy bohemian look was really popular that Lisa Bonet had in the Cosby Show.
Oh yeah.
So I
Yeah.
got a lot of those clothes.
It was
And
acid washed.
Yes. so my dad said to my mom when I came home and I was showing him the clothes, he was like, "Oh, that's really nice." And my mom later told me that Daddy said, "Why did you take her to Goodwill shopping? I thought you were taking her to the mall." So
That's hey, you know what? It's traditions. My grandmother took us during the summer. I'd spend the summer with her. We went to yard sales. But she was she had an eye for things, and we would get a lot of our clothes and stuff were from yard sales. And that's something I always look forward to. I loved yard selling.
Oh yeah, my mom
Yeah.
loves it to this day. But we go looking for. My mom collects teapots and cookbooks. And remember when the junior service leagues in town used to do cookbooks every year, and churches used to do cookbooks.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I would
Oh,
love.
yes.
Those are some
Yeah.
of my favorites.
And
Yep.
but they don't do them anymore. So my mom goes to all of these yard sales. And literally, she'll sit down with the paper and go through and circle out the yard sales. She's like, "This one's an estate sale. I bet they're gonna have some cookbooks."
That sounds so familiar. That sounds familiar. My grandmother, they would map them out, so they know where to start. Go to
Yeah.
this one first, this
Right.
one next, this one next.
Yep.
And then they would also know this one's in there all the time. You don't want to go to that one.
Right, right. Yep,
Yep.
that's what Mama says. So it was just, it's funny the things that we remember and the things that we hold on to.
Well, our traditions are kind of what, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of it's what we grow up with, and it's kind of what keeps us connected to home. And that's, I want to say that's what traditions are for, I mean, Scotty and I and Beth and Emmy, for a few years in a row, we were going over to, and the pictures are great. And Ashley went with us the first year. We went over to Town Square in Covington and took pictures, Christmas pictures. And they've had that Santa house out there for all of my life, Santa's house. And everybody goes and sits in Santa's chair and takes pictures. It's just what you do. So we all went there and we took pictures together. And there was a bench. There's a bench there. And we all would sit on it. And we would do the same. We did the same exact pose 2 years in a row, with Beth and Emmy on each side of me and Scotty, and we're kissing, and they're both like, yuck, kind of thing. Well, one year we did it, and Emmy at the time was dating her boyfriend, and it was her and her boyfriend and me and Scotty, and Beth was in the middle, she had this disgusted face, because we were all, but anyway, so every year Scotty likes for us to try and go back there on that same bench and try to reenact those poses. Well, this year we'll get to include Zaylee in that pose. So we actually did one last year too, though. But the first year you Ashley was with us.
Yes.
And she went to be the photographer, but she's in the photos too.
Yes, I was forced into the photos.
And that's something we will do again this year. So we have done our best to make that a family tradition. And I hate that we didn't do this year, but we would go buy pumpkins and carve them. And I think a lot of people do that kind of stuff. But I want to hear things that are different. And speaking of that, I kind of went online and I pulled up some what I thought to be very unusual family traditions, but Ashley just threw it out there.
Yeah, Ashley's wins.
Yeah, Ashley, we'll start with you. We'll go backwards. We're going to talk about some weird traditions.
Yes, all you have to do is Google crazy family traditions, and you will find some that you wish you didn't read. Like this one, which is the pubes day cake, where it says my brother and I both got a cake when we grew our first pube hair.
Oh, I mean, I never thought about that. Now I put condoms in my son's stocking and in his Easter basket and things like that. Once I knew he was at that age, I was like, hey, here you go. And he'd be like, Mom, really? I was like, yeah. Heck yeah, bag it.
Well, and speaking of condoms, the next one said that the brides in the family go to the supermarket in their wedding dresses with the wedding party and purchase a packet of condoms, on the wedding day, on the way to the reception.
Oh, there you go.
It's that's just a family tradition.
Yeah. Yep. Doc, you have any weird traditions you like to share?
I think probably one of the weirdest, and and I thought that it was weird at the time, but now I'm like, okay, maybe that's not so weird. But whenever we turned 13, and I was an only child, but talking to my cousins, you get this gift bag, and in the gift bag it has every single chocolate that you can find in the store. And then there's a box of tampons, there's a box of pads,
That's cool.
there's a journal, and and it's for so long I had heard all my cousins talking about the period pack, and I'm like, I don't want the period pack, because I just they would call it the curse. I'm like, I don't want to get cursed. I don't want that. And so when I got my period, my mom, it was on my bed when I came home. I was just like, ah. But now I look back on it, because I did the same thing with my daughter, and and she was like, oh, Mommy, this is so cool. And so but I went 2 steps farther. I bought her the book on what to expect with my changing body. I bought her a journal and something else, and then I took her out to Starbucks and I gave it to her at Starbucks. I was like, but don't unpack it until we get home.
Right.
Oh, this is so cool.
That's actually kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I just thought it was kind of weird though that we're celebrating our periods. Okay.
Well, it's part of life, though.
Isn't that the same thing? I can't remember what's the tradition. Maybe your cousins have talked to you, Crystal, about it with the Spanish community. The girls, they have the like princess.
Oh, and they turn 16.
okay, it's 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they go all out. I mean, it's
Yeah,
huge.
it's like a
huge.
wedding,
Yeah,
right?
it's like
It's
a
called
wedding.
something, but it's
Is
yeah.
it quinceañera?
Well,
or-
yes.
Yeah, but the
yes.
quinceañera is at 13.
At
Oh,
13?
maybe it's 13.
Yeah,
then.
13 is
Maybe
the
it's
Mexican
13.
tradition.
Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe it is 13. Yeah. But yeah,
Ooh.
Freddie, who actually owns, I know him as Carlos, but he owns Los Churros over here. He was showing me pictures of his daughter, and maybe it was 13, but I was like, wow. I mean, it's
Yeah, they go all
huge.
out. I mean, they have
It's-
special dresses.
It's like a wedding. Yep.
Yeah.
Dress for that. Yeah.
I know one of Sean's coworkers said that he spent like $7,000 on it. It may have been more than that. Really. I mean,
Yeah,
they-
that's
they-
not surprising.
And they still got to get married at some point. So
Right.
you got to pay for a wedding.
Right.
I'm glad that we don't have that tradition. I'm just saying.
Like, can they wear the same dress?
Right. I mean, because that'll get pricey, especially with people like Ashley with 2 girls. Oh, no, you 4 girls.
I was fixing to say,
Yeah.
Shelly has more girls than I do.
Oh, Lord. No, no.
She's so
We're
lucky.
gonna marry them off to the Asian community, you know, because they're the men's family. that
Oh.
pays for the wedding.
Well, yeah, we need to go ahead and start making that happen.
Right.
Yep. Well, I pulled up, of course, on the internet, 10 bizarre traditions, and number 10, which we'll go from 10 to 1 if y'all are okay with that. In Hindu, they have a piercing festival.
Mm.
I'm like, okay, so that's kind of painful looking, but
Yes.
we've been speaking of that tonight. It says painful piercings around the body, including the tongue. The rituals have
Mm.
become more dramatic, colorful, and bloody,
Ew.
with large spears and hooks through the chest and the face. I'm not sure the significant. It says it's a significant presence of the community, such as India. So I'm not too sure about that right there. But let's just keep going. There's a tomato throwing festival that they do in Spain. I had read about that, and it's basically says it started out in 1945. There was basically a vegetable stand nearby, and they picked up some tomatoes and they used them as weapons. And then the police had to intervene to break up the fight and force those responsible to pay for the damage that was there. So now apparently every year in August, which is it's held on the last Wednesday of every August in August, they have a tomato throwing festival, and the pictures of this festival are quite interesting.
Yeah,
Yes.
it looks like
No.
a bunch of bloody, like
It
naked
looks
people.
like
is what it looks like.
a mess. And they all decided to go shirtless.
Yes.
So I don't know about that. Now this one looks pretty painful. It's the bullet ant gloves. And apparently, from what I had read, when a young boy becomes sexually mature, he goes out into the jungle with the medicine man and other boys his age, and they find and gather these bullet ants. And then they're supposed to be the most painful sting in the world.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and it says they gather the ants, and the ants themselves are drugged by some sort of herbs that they give them. The medicine man gives them, and later the ants are sleeping in a drug-induced state, and they're placed into a glove, like a mesh glove. And when the ants awake, they are trapped, and they're very angry and aggressive. And the boys must put their hands inside of the gloves for about 10 minutes while they do a dance to take their mind off the pain. However, the young men of the tribe must endure this pain for 20 minutes before they can prove they are men.
No, 20 times. They have to do it
Yeah,
20
20
times.
this-
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Ugh. I do not want to live there.
Yeah, those
No.
places I don't want to
No.
live.
Mm-mm.
Now, this was kind of disgusting to me. It was a burial, like a burial tradition. They take dead relatives, and their body is burned, and they take the ash and the bone powder, and they mix it into a plantain soup,
Oh no.
and the people then drink it.
Ew.
No.
No, I'm good.
I'm good. Again, I don't.
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
want
no,
to
no.
live there, and that's in Venezuela. So, there's a tooth filing. One of the biggest Hindu religious ceremonies is tooth filing. Tooth filling.
I was feeling.
Tooth filling. He looks
Mhm.
like he's got a file on her teeth. In this picture that we're looking at, it says the ceremony is of the great importance. Is significant in the passage from puberty to adulthood. Man, I'm glad we don't have those kind of passages because it's like, this is crazy. But the ceremony is executed by smoothing down the tooth and the eye tooth. So I guess everybody over in that country has smooth.
I was just gonna
Sanded
say they
down
have
teeth.
would all have flat teeth.
Yeah, maybe that explains. I mean, we've probably seen some of those people like, dang, their teeth are,
Right.
straight. But okay. Wow. And it just, I'm interested to get all the way to number 1. If those are supposed to be some of the least, there's Dancing with the Dead, which is a festival. There's finger cutting. Finger cutting. Look, his fingers have literally been cut off. Yes, and
What would be the
I do
point behind
not. I
that?
don't get it. It says New Guinea. The members of this tribe cut off their fingers as a way of displaying their grief at a funeral ceremony.
That's.
I'm sorry, but I think your loved ones would want you to keep your fingers. I just no. Baby throwing India.
Oh my gosh, that's like off a building.
Look at this. That is crazy. It says the bizarre ritual of throwing a newborn baby off a temple 50 feet high and catching them in a cloth has been celebrated in India since the last 500 years.
Oh my god!
It is practiced by couples who are blessed with a child after taking a vow at the something temple near Indy in the state of Karnataka. The ritual is observed by both Muslims and Hindus every year and takes place amid tight security. The ritual takes place in the first week of December and is believed to bring health, prosperity, and luck to new arrivals. Around 200 babies are dropped by their parents every year while crowds sing and dance. Most of the infants are under 2 years old.
Oh wow.
What if
How
they
the
miss-
hell can you say that's bringing health?
what happens if somebody misses the baby with the sheet?
Right. Definitely.
I mean,
They're
Oh,
dropping them 50
wow.
feet.
That's
50 feet. Who can we report this shit to?
Right.
yeah, I don't think they have defects over there,
No,
Crystal.
how about an HR department? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So if that has to be the worst, but this is number 1. The morning of Muharram. Tell me, Doc, how you say it? Is an important period of mourning in Islam, taking place in. Okay.
I would say it Muharram.
Okay. The first month of the Islamic calendar. It is also called the Remembrance of Muharram. Did I say that right?
I
Anyway,
think so. I
many
don't know
of
how
the
to say
events
it.
associated with the remembrance taking place in congregation halls. I don't know.
Yeah, the baby throwing was
I
definitely
think baby
number
throwing
1.
should have been
Yeah,
number 1.
Yeah, that had to be
Yeah.
the most. I'm not even gonna call it bizarre. I'm gonna call it straight up stupid and crazy. And I mean, who would do that?
Right.
Let's just go drop our child 50 feet off of a building and onto
Well,
a
you know,
by
I
far
mean-
the most dangerous.
That's
Yeah.
that's like the female genital mutilation that they do in Africa. The
Oh.
female circumcision. You know, that's one of their traditions.
What?
Mm.
I don't even want to know how that works.
Well, what they do is they
My Brazilian wax ain't got shit on it. I'm just saying.
they take girls, and it's kind of like their rite of passage. And the mother and the women in the family hold these young women down, often without any anesthesia, and they do clitorectomies or clitpendectomies.
Ugh,
So that they'll
send
be-
them some numbing cream.
How about let's don't do that to the girls?
They need to stop that one.
They
That's
need to
not
stop
right.
that
Is
one.
there someone we can report that to?
Well, you know,
Gosh.
who is it? The World something. I want to say it's World Health Organization has actually gotten involved, and several of the African tribes have stopped it. But you know, it's the ones on the out fringes that still continue it.
Wow. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna stick to my Cabbage Patch dolls and candy canes.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just gonna stick to that right there because I mean, and I'm okay right where I live. Well, I'm going to search cool family traditions, just see if we can come up with some ideas that none of us may have.
Oh, does anybody do the birthday chair?
What's that?
Okay, so in our family, and this was something that I started with my kids. And what I do is I take the dining room table and I decorate it. And then I take a special chair, and on that chair, it has like a birthday slip cover that's usually like wrapping paper that I've wrapped the chair in. And I have a bouquet of birthday balloons. And I mean, the whole table is like, it's a birthday party setting. And
Oh, that is kind of cool.
yeah, and so when the kids wake up in the morning, I fill their rooms with balloons, and I wake them up by singing happy birthday.
Aw,
I
that's
like that
sweet.
idea.
Yeah.
One time, Emmy, she took and blew up a whole bunch of balloons.
Mhm.
Beth was already in the bed. She took like a big trash bag and we put and taped it like from door to door.
Uh-huh.
And then we put all the balloons inside. So that whenever she opened up her door, like balloons just kind of fell all over.
Oh,
her. And I was like,
cool.
now I have always, my kids growing up and now I, like Beth especially, would always decorate. Like whenever I was at work or whatever, I'd come home, she'd have it all decorated up for me, and they'd wake up in the morning. I'd always have, the house all decorated for their birthday. But on St. Patrick's Day was probably one of my favorites because they would go to school and they'd come home and I'd mess their room and stuff all up, and I'd take them, make little green feet print. And like like the leprechauns that came and just destroyed their bed and everything. And I'd make it a point to make sure they had their room, make them clean their room.
Right.
So they didn't clean their room all up or whatever. They'd come home and I would have the bed all unmade and their clothes all out of their drawers and stuff, And they'd be like, I was like, I guess the leprechaun came. Well, then one time Ashley swore up and down, and still to this day, she still swears that the leprechaun, she's seen him. He was outside beside the tree and he was looking at her. And she still to this day swears to that. And sometimes I wonder in the neighborhood we were living in, did she really see some creepy looking man out there, or had I just jaded my child?
Right.
Because she was terrified of the leprechaun. But I would do that. And then on Valentine's, I used to love heart-shaped pancakes, and I did everything pink. I always had the red food color and just put a dot in their eggs or whatever. And I would always make things pink for Valentine's Day. But speaking of Valentine's, like growing up, my granddaddy lived in Milledgeville. My Papa Foskey did, and he would travel, and we were all spaced out. But up until his dying day, every Valentine's Day, he would bring us boxes of candy, even my mom. I mean, he would make it a point to drive wherever we were at and make sure we had Valentine's candy. So, things like that you kind of forget about until you start thinking like this. So That's kind of cool. And I hope that someday my kids do remember those things I used to do for them when they were little. Now they're older and we're at that stage to where, I don't know, whatever. But I hope they, and the Valentine, doing the cards for school, I always enjoyed that. And they don't do a lot of that anymore in schools.
No, they don't.
No, not a lot has definitely changed with that.
Because we used to we had to decorate our own shoebox or whatever for school, and you take it and, everybody brings Valentine's and you put it in there. I could not wait to get home and open it up and see if so-and-so gave me a Valentine.
They still do that with the schools that we've sent, the Montessori schools.
Yeah.
Yes.
They take time to actually create the box at school.
Mm-hmm.
And all of their Valentine cards, this was a little bit of a pain sometimes, got to tell you, but all their Valentine cards had to be handmade. It didn't matter.
That's cool.
how-
Oh, wow.
That really is cool.
Yeah, you couldn't go buy them. They got to sit down and actually put some time into it and be creative, which it was good. It was really good. But
unless you have
they-
4 girls who are doing it
right? Unless,
Right.
unless they really wanted that princess one or something, something that everybody else had that would be in public school or something like that. A little different.
I think that's awesome. That's the one good thing about private schools and homeschooling and things like that is you can still keep that kind of stuff alive, because a lot of public schools, they just don't allow that stuff anymore. They just really, really don't. So
That's why I'm excited about homeschooling daily.
Well, it's like the middle schools now. Like, they can't even celebrate their birthdays.
No,
like,
they can't.
they can't bring in anything, like
Right.
you can't go in there and say, I want to celebrate my child's birthday. You don't have that.
Right.
No, I noticed right before before Beth got out of school, actually. Or I shouldn't say that, but probably whenever she got into middle school. I went to go take balloons or flowers or something like that to her, and they told me no. I'm like, what do you mean? So I said, fine then, give me my kid. I checked her out, and I took my balloons and my flowers and my kid. I was like, hey, happy birthday. She's like, Mom, what are you doing? I wanted to stay with my friends and da da da. I was like, no, come on. They wouldn't let me give you your balloons and your flowers. Here, I got your balloons and flowers. Happy birthday. You're going home with me. But yeah, anyway, the internet's wanting to act a little bit crazy on me all of a sudden. And I've talked right through the break. Let's take a quick break. And
then when we come back, we'll wrap it
whenever
up.
we come back, we'll be getting ready to wrap it up. Everybody stay tuned. You are listening to Ladies Talk on Just for Fun Radio. We will be right back. I don't even know what time it is.
It is 8:57.
Oh, wow.
So actually, maybe we should wrap. Okay. Are
probably
we on
should
break?
just wrap
Yeah,
it
we
up.
should.
We'll just
wrap
make
it
this
up.
really quick. We'll let the sponsors and everything play. Because I have cheated the sponsors out of there.
That was two really in-depth topics, though.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
In depth being the key word.
and she's dealing with the side effects.
Yeah.
It was actually cool that, when I had heard that y'all were doing traditions, because it was like I was like, once I got Chris out of the house, I had already thought, I was like, I really want to start just doing stuff because it's never been just me and my girls.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Because when me and their dad got divorced, I lived with his family. Like, we lived in a house with like 20 people.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
So it was like, and then as soon as I moved out, I met Chris and we've been together, so there's never been just me and the girls.
See, that's how it was with me and my kids. When I left Tony, I moved in with Keely, but Keely and I only lasted 3 months. And then when I moved into the house, it was just me and the kids, and nobody had lived with us until Benny came. And, so it had been me and the kids from 2010 up until now. I dated people, but people were never invited to be a part of my family stuff.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I was always nice to refresh, after
yeah.
being in a bad relationship.
I want to go to Lake Lanier Islands this year. Have y'all been up there during the Christmas time
Yes,
to
that
make
was
the
one of our-
ornaments?
That was one of our traditions. But we just did the lights. Only last year, they added this whole snow wonderland thing.
That's what. Yeah, they've had that. Because we went to that 2 or 3 years ago.
Was it that long ago? Oh my gosh.
I don't know if they're doing it this year again, but Six Flags started doing Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know
Stone
that.
Mountain has their snow
The
mountain
festival in
right
Stone
there.
Yeah,
Mountain.
that is awesome.
Yes,
Love
with the
that.
Christmas angel and the
I
Polar
haven't
Express
got to do
train.
that yet.
Yeah.
Oh, Zaylee would love that.
Well, now that we have them, we have a little one to do things like that with. I'm sure we will. Sure we will. Okay, after this commercial, we'll go back and wrap it up.
What's our topic next week?
Was it the rewind?
How fabulous Ashley is. That's what
Yeah.
that's what the topic is. Well, no, my children better be doing their chores while I'm here.
Sorry. All right. I know that was a quick break, but we've talked so much and had such a great time. Time has slipped right up on us.
Yes.
So it's time for us to get ready to wrap it up. Traditions. I mean, we were sitting here talking on break, of course, and Ashley brought up a valid point, and all of us have started over at some point or another. It seems like that's the way life goes, and it's kind of refreshing whenever you are getting a fresh start to be able to start new traditions and just kind of look forward to being able to do things with your kids or with yourself. And it's a great time to start new traditions or to refocus on traditions, because sometimes we lose focus on traditions. I mean, like just because I might do it for 2 or 3 years. Like I said, the whole picture thing at the square, we were really digging that, and it's something we wanted to do every year, but we did miss a year. But that does not mean I'm not going to do it this year. I'm going to refocus, and because I would like for that to be something that we do with us and the girls. And I think it's very important that you all go out and create your own family traditions and keep them alive, because someday you'll be just like all of us, sitting around with your girlfriends and revisiting those traditions, and they will mean a lot. So
Yep, for sure.
That is very true. I'm excited. I actually kind of like the segmented topics.
me too.
Yeah.
It's been very okay. We are trying to do something a little bit. We are trying to do something a little bit, not really different, but just trying to add a little bit more to Ladies Talk. And we've thinking that, and I would like to be a little more organized with it than what I was tonight. And I will not go get Brazilian waxes or step out of my comfort zone every single week just in order to have something to talk about. But tonight has been very interesting. But we do want to get all of our listeners involved. We want you to submit your recipes and product reviews and that kind of thing. And we are going to start reaching out to some of our sponsors and businesses within the community and getting them to donate gift certificates and different things, to where we have some prizes and things to offer people who submit stories and things like that, and give us something to share.
And don't forget, we've got our New Year, New You contest ends on the 17th for your nominations. So please get those nominations in. Ladies Talk at justforfunradio.com.
And that's simply just nominating someone that you feel is, needs a makeover, needs just a day for them, because really it's more than just a makeover. We're going to make an entire day out of this. Zach's going to do their hair. We got a makeup artist going to do their makeup. We're going to make sure we're going to do a breakfast, lunch,
and a dinner,
and even a dinner, and all the while they're getting pampered and made over. So it's going to be a very special treat for some particular person. But we all need you to help us find that particular person.
That's right.
Because we need you to help us do that. But with that being said, tomorrow night's Friday night, we will be checking out Cochrane Road at the Depot and celebrating a very special someone's birthday.
Woohoo!
Yep. Yeah. It's Ashley's birthday tomorrow, and also Rich Archer's birthday tomorrow. It was someone else's, but I'm sure I'm forgetting. But anyway,
remember.
That's what we'll be doing tomorrow night. And then Saturday, we are going to be watching the Ronda Rousey fight.
Yes.
Yeah. So that right there is going to be very interesting, and it's going to be we're going to a private party, so to speak, to do that. So I would invite the world, but I'm not allowed to.
We can't invite the world to other people's houses.
I don't think
Crystal.
that would be good. I was just trying to think, is there anything that Just for Fun Radio is doing? I don't even know. I think Sunday's pretty wide open. So if y'all need a DJ for Sunday, let us know.
I bet he's going to love you for that one.
He will, right, honey? I know you're listening.
All right,
Yes, he will. But with that being said, join us next week
for Rewind.
Ashley, thank y'all so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Tomorrow morning's the morning show, 7:30 a.m. So be sure to join in on the Friday Morning Madness with DJ Scotty and the Fun Crew. That's the Doc and Denise.
And Steph.
And Steph. Yep. Yes, I'm glad Stephanie's back. But
I'm glad she's back too.
Yeah,
I love Stephanie.
That's the Redneck Steph for most of y'all who are probably more familiar with the Redneck than Steph. And then we'll be back next week with the same great lineup. Morning shows, Tuesday Tech Talk with Alex, and Thursday night Ladies Talk.
And it's a Rewind.
All right, y'all go check out Gravity. Get you some of this coconut Moscato. It was delish. Thank you, Karen, for letting us taste it up today. December 10th, Ladies Talk at Gravity. Y'all make your plans to be there. Until then, everybody, go make some traditions.
That's right.
Get waxed or something. All right, everybody, we're out. Thanks again so much to all of our listeners. Y'all spread the word. It's Ladies Talk on Just for Fun Radio.
Good night.
Good night. Peace. This song
Why does
Uh-oh.
it
I don't know why it does that. Family traditions.
This one's for my daddy. All right, y'all, we bye to the camera.
Bye, YouTube land.
Mhm.